What up, second grade? It's Miss Carl here. I hope you all are doing well. So today we're going to be talking a little bit more about proper noun. So remember, a proper noun can name a special or specific place or person. And whenever we have those proper nouns, they need to be capitalized. So if we have a specific person or place, we need to make sure that those are capitalized. And we also need to make sure that the abbreviations that come before a name, like Dr., Mrs., Mr., Miss, the title before someone's name, has that capital letter and that period, which we have talked about abbreviations. So hopefully we should be okay with that. But if we need to review, we will be as we go through this lesson. So we just need to make sure that we're capitalizing these and making sure that we are following the rules for proper nouns. So let me go ahead and pull up a couple sentences to show what I'm talking about. So our first sentence says, Mrs. Evans flies to New York. All right, so Mrs. Evans is a proper noun, right? It's a name, special name of someone. So Mrs. is that abbreviation or that title before Evans. So it needs that capital M and that period. And then Evans, that E needs capitalized, flies to New York. Again, capital N, capital Y, describing a specific place, proper noun. Dr. Sanchez takes the bus to San Diego. So doctor, that title that comes before Sanchez or abbreviation, has that capital D in that period. Sanchez has that proper name, so we have to have that capital S, and then that S capitalized and that D capitalized for San Diego, because that's a specific place. So that's also a proper noun. So whenever we have names and titles, we need to make sure that we capitalize those appropriately and correctly. So we're going to go ahead and do a little worksheet and just get some extra practice with this. So the top is kind of just re-saying what I already said, but I'm going to read it again. The names of special people and places are proper nouns. A proper noun begins with a capital letter. The abbreviations of titles before people's names begin with a capital letter. They end with a period. So again, doctor is a title, but we can abbreviate that to DR period, which we talked about. But in that case, we need to make sure that we have a capital D in that period to make sure we're using that abbreviation correctly and that that title is abbreviated correctly. All right, so the directions say rewrite the sentences with write the proper nouns and titles correctly. So number 1 says, a large power plant is in New York. A large power plant is in New York. So if we're going to rewrite this, we would have a large power plant is in New York. New York is proper noun and needs to be capitalized. It's a special place, proper noun, so we need a capital N and a capital Y for New York. So what I want you to, you know what, why don't you go ahead and grab a piece of paper and a pencil. If you need to pause me while you do that, go ahead. But I want you to go ahead and grab a piece of paper and a pencil. All right, so now that you have those, let's go ahead and just at the top of your paper, why don't you write number 1? And you don't have to write down the question, but I do want you to write down the answer. A large power plant is in New York. So go ahead and write that answer down. Pause me if you need to while you do that. I'll go ahead and make this bigger too. There we go. A large power plant is in New York. So go ahead and write that. All right, number 2. The plant is near Niagara Falls. So Niagara Falls is a special place, so proper noun, so it needs to be capitalized correctly. The plant is near Niagara Falls. So we need to make sure that that is capitalized appropriately. The plant is near Niagara Falls. So go ahead on your paper, write number 2, and go ahead and put this. The plant is near Niagara Falls. All right, number 3. I met Dr. Flint when I visited the plant. So one thing that I noticed is Dr. Flint. It's that proper title and name, but it's not capitalized properly. So let's go ahead and fix that. So I met. Well, doctor is a title, and the abbreviation, we need to have a capital D, and then our period, and then Flint, that F needs to be capitalized for the name. When I visited the plant. All right, so go ahead, put number 3 on your paper and write this. I met Dr. Flint when I visited the plant. The title Doctor is abbreviated with a capital D and a period, and then Flint also needs to be capitalized, capital F. All right, number 4, I want to challenge you to try. So underneath 3, go ahead and write 4. He works at the power plant near Buffalo with Mrs. Swan. So I want you to take a minute, think about what needs capitalized here. What names and titles need capitalized here? So go ahead and pause me and write your answer on your paper. And then once you have your answer, unpause me and we'll talk about it. All right, so you should have something. He works at the power plant near Buffalo is a place, so we need that capital B with Mrs., that's a title, capital M, then a period. Swan is also a name, so we need that capital S. So this is what your sentence needs to look like. He works at the power plant with Mrs. Swan. All right, give me a thumbs up if that's what you have. Awesome. All right, we're going to try number 5. This is our last one. Homes in Pennsylvania use electricity from the plant. Homes in Pennsylvania use electricity from the plant. So under your number 4, write 5. And again, I want you to think about what needs capitalized here and go ahead and pause me and solve that one. Go ahead and do that one for me. Unpause me when you have your answer. All right, so you should have homes in Pennsylvania. That's a place, so we need that capital P. So your answer should look like this. Homes in Pennsylvania use electricity from the plant. Homes in Pennsylvania use electricity from the plant. That P in Pennsylvania needs capitalized. All right, second grade, awesome work. So remember, when we have those names and titles, those specific people or places, we need those capital letters. And when we abbreviate titles, we need that capital letter and that period. See you next time, guys. Great job.